Thank you.
This is Bill Burr, known for his sharp wit, allowing him to dismantle anyone in front of him.
Matt, and then all of a sudden, people are fucking sitting there. What? You don't have the body type for it, dude. Your fucking knuckles would scrape on the ground.
Being completely unfiltered on sensitive topics.
Like I was watching the World Series, where they have this moment, stand up to cancer. It's just like, what are you doing?
I'm trying to watch a game here. You know, no, there's a time and a place. Look, I know somebody.
And blending humor and logic to create both funny and thought-provoking moments.
Realize that there's some animal guys out there, okay? Horrible guys, you know, have a rough day at the factory, come home, tuna casserole, and just start swinging.
I'm not trying to say that those people don't exist. So if I can admit that, ladies, can you at least admit that every ass kicking doesn't just fall out of the fucking sky?
He's hugely successful in podcasting and acting, and many people consider him one of the greatest comedians of the 21st century. So today, we will show you why there will never be another Bill Burr. William Frederick Burr was born in a Boston suburb into a house of 8, where he witnessed many unique childhood experiences. With 5 siblings, a dentist father, and a nurse mother, his house was full of surprises.
I always made Sunday breakfast, so we had all these waffles, eggs, bacon, this whole layout. My brother was looking at half-eaten cube steaks and a little mound of green bean casserole. And he goes, so he looked at my mom, he goes, Mom, can I have a waffle? And she goes, no, you gotta finish your supper. He's like, well, after I finish my supper, then can I have a waffle? She goes, no, that is your breakfast. And he goes, oh, Mom, I hate you. And my dad, without looking up, took a full glass of milk and threw it in his face.
Events like these meant his father impacted him significantly in his very early years.
So he's sitting there driving, he's going like, Jesus Christ, knock it off back there! Christ, you're giggling like a couple little schoolgirls! Christ, you don't straighten up, I'm gonna buy you a doll for Christmas! And then he did. I swear to God, he made us hold him up. My mother's taking pictures in front of the Christmas tree. I'm just standing there like,
The tough love Bill received from his dad gave him a unique perspective on humor and what some parents would call irresponsible, Bill's father would find funny.
And my dad came home, saw us all excited. He's like, what are you jumping around for? We're like, oh, we don't have any school tomorrow. We don't have any school. It's great. We don't have to do the homework. And he goes, oh, no, you got school. We were like, no, the teacher said we don't have school. And he goes, no, I just heard it on the radio driving home. They switched it. You have to go to school. So we're like, oh, what a ripoff. So we went upstairs. We did our homework. He didn't say anything. We went to bed. We got up the next day at like 5:45 to do our paper routes, right? He doesn't say a word. We eat breakfast. Doesn't say a word. We go out to go to the bus stop. Doesn't say a word. Finally, he gets in his car. He drives down the end of the driveway, rolls down his window, stuck his head out the window, waved to us, and drove to work. And left us standing there waiting for the bus. And finally, somebody drove up the street. Somebody's mom was looking at us going, what are you guys doing? We're like, oh, we're waiting for the bus. She's like, there's no school.
This planted a savage sense of humor in Bill early on, and he eventually became a class clown. At one stage, it got so bad that he had to be sent to summer school where he witnessed another level of comedy.
Yeah. So this guy's mowing the lawn, and one of these class clowns guys, he just saw him coming by and just happened to have a Coke in his hand. And without saying, do you dare me or anything, it's just impulsive. He just poured it on him.
That's a class clown.
And then all of a sudden, there's a knock on the door.
Right.
And this fucking guy comes in all pissed off with like the brown stains of the Coke on his white beater and going, I just want to see something. It's like somebody had poured a Coke on me. And dude, I am crying, laughing. Like he's like, who did it? Who did it? And like a normal class, people would all clam up and get nervous. The kid who did it was like, yeah, I did it.
You're like, that's a whole nother level of
I
class
would never
clown.
have the balls to do that.
But Bill eventually finished high school and found himself at a crossroads until he transferred to his third college, where he discovered something that would change his life forever.
Burr first performed stand-up comedy at the age of 23 on March 2nd, 1992. That is true. There was a Find Boston's Funniest College Student contest at Nick's Comedy Stop, which is still there. All I remember from the first night is that I walked on stage, forgot everything that I was going to say. But I remember reaching for the microphone, and it felt like an outer-body experience. And I kind of knew in that moment I had finally found what I wanted to do.
Now with a passion for comedy, Bill moved to New York. And in 1993, he started working open mics to slowly improve his craft, whilst working construction to financially support himself.
Every story this way the whole day. She's like, God, Blake today, chill with her after new boyfriend. I was like... It's like freaking out. I'm like, what do I have to do, end my stories with faces? Okay, I was driving to work today. Someone cut me off. I was like...
This gave Bill great resilience in a tough comedic environment, reinforcing his thick skin and harsh wit. And in New York, he met and studied great comedians such as Chris Rock and Louis C.K. at the iconic Comedy Cellar, giving him an early insight into what it took to become a great comedian. He also met the late Patrice O'Neal as he was on the rise.
We were both two fucked up kids, so we had it, good times, bad times, had to like fucking take breaks from each other. I remember we used to take breaks from white people in general. What we did was stupid. We just fucking were ripping. It was funny, but we never did anything creatively. I don't know. The way we helped each other was actually coming out of that. It's really hard to hurt my feelings.
Patrice O'Neal's death devastated Bill after forming such a strong bond during his formative years.
He was everything. Everything was on 10. That guy was on 10. If he was being cool, he was the coolest guy you ever met. If he was being funny, he was the funniest guy you ever met. If he was being an asshole, you wanted to fucking kill him. I still have arguments with him. Like, that's how, the level of this guy.
Bill then got his big break, and his career has not been the same since. Appearances on Comedy Central's Premium Blend and Showtime at the Apollo in the late 90s established Bill's name across America.
Don't you wish good stories were told loudly? Make your day so much damn more enjoyable, You're like you're riding on the bus, getting to work, and some guy tells some crazy story 20 rows back, you're hearing it, it'd be great. Like some guy, Daryl, how was your night? It's pretty crazy, man. I was riding in my car, I looked down to turn the station, I hit some dude on a bike. Yeah, he got up, so I just took off, man. I think he got my plate. Look, don't tell anybody or I'll kill you.
Bill then moved to LA, and by the mid-2000s, he capitalized on another life-changing opportunity in a new form of entertainment.
Ever been to San Antonio? You haven't. And I'm sick of people acting like New York is a hard fucking place to live. You can make it there, you can make it anywhere. Look at your life. Look around your apartment right now. You're in New York, right? You're making it. You can get a fucking slice. It's not that hard. That's all I want to say.
In 2007, Bill started the Monday Morning Podcast, making him an early pioneer of comedian podcasts, well before people like Joe Rogan had started his own. This gave Bill a unique edge over most comedians at the time, allowing him to develop connections with his fan base earlier than most.
What big stage are you talking about, Knick fans? What are you talking about? What, Madison Square Garden? You guys are acting like it's fucking Yankee Stadium. You haven't won a championship since 1973. So what is he afraid of? What pressure is there? To carry the fucking torch to not win it for the 38th, 39th, and 40th fucking year?
It was rants like these that not only made people laugh, but also made him come across as relatable and authentic. In 2008, Bill then released Why Do I Do This?, his first comedy special.
That show To Catch a Predator, man, that is horrible PR for white people, huh? Jesus Christ. Can they move that show to an urban area every once in a while? Just catch a couple of R. Kelly's peeing on some kids, Just balance it out a little bit. It's like, does every dude walking in that house got to look like me? Like, hey, man, a fucking 8-year-old, how are you?
Bill's father's early influence was paying off, as fans began to love his brutal comedy style, and this showed in his second comedy special.
You know what I like? You know what I hate about these corporate chains? You go in there, you're paying for a business. They make you do half the job now. I don't get it. I walk in, hey, let me get a turkey sandwich, lettuce, tomato on rye with mayonnaise. The guy behind the counter's like, all right, turkey sandwich, lettuce, tomato on rye. Yeah, and mayonnaise. Oh, the mayonnaise is it's right over there. Really? Why don't you fucking go over there, put it on my sandwich? This isn't like a relay race. You make half the sandwich, then you hand it off to me. I run over, I throw a pickle on it, frisbee it over to my mom. She sticks an olive with a toothpick in it. Do you recognize me? It's because I don't fucking work here, all right? Just make the sandwich.
This was another massive success, which solidified Bill as a top-tier comedian. The next year, in 2011, he featured in seasons 4 and 5 of Breaking Bad as Patrick Kuby.
Ah, screw it.
Bill's acting was well received due to his ability to add humor and depth to his characters. He soon became a regular guest on the Joe Rogan Experience, too, boosting the popularity of his own podcast, ultimately setting the stage for him to become one of the most popular and well-established comedians in the world.
My dad was like that. My dad's the greatest dude I ever met in my life. And he had a temper. Anytime anything broke in the house, 5 minutes into fixing it, he was bitching about his marriage. That was one of his catchphrases. Most guys would have left by now, and you don't know how fucking good you got it, lady. Yeah, when I was a kid, I thought he was nuts. Then I got older, started dating. I realized, this guy's making a lot of good points.
Bill went on to release many more very successful comedy specials, separating himself from the likes of Joe Rogan, Theo Vaughn, and Joey Diaz. Because whilst they are praised for having great podcasts, they are criticized for their stand-up, whereas Bill gets praised for both, highlighting his rare talents in his podcasts and stand-up.
That really
The
woke
thing
me
about
up.
gay, though, it's like it used to mean happy, and I was really happy, right? Sure. And you never heard them complain when it got hijacked, like the really happy people didn't like protesting. People like, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
That word used to mean we're really enjoying our day. Well, you guys turned around and took it.
This is also true for his animated Netflix show, F is for Family.
Oh, look at that, Fat Albert. I'm not wearing a costume. Well, then you don't get any fucking candy.
The show is based on Bill's peculiar experiences growing up and received an 85% rating from Rotten Tomatoes.
I'm gonna be Mr. Coconut.
No, you are not. Mr. Coconut is a mister.
If he's a mister, why does he have milk inside?
That's man milk.
Another way Bill stands out from the competition is in his ability to carefully and articulately destroy anyone, simply because he enjoys it.
I love this dude texting for the entire interview. It's just trying to keep the attentions on millennials. It's like impossible. Look at him. He's already got the chains. He's probably got his own record label. He's like making deals as we speak. He's got championship rings on. I don't know what you're doing, dude, but I want your life, man. You're crushing it.
No one is safe from his jokes, not even his own children.
I'll tell you, when I saw my kid, it wasn't, I didn't have like, everybody was like, you're gonna burst out crying, you're gonna blah, blah, blah. I was like scared of it. Like I was just sitting there like, hey, yeah, buddy, like I didn't want to touch it. And then like afterwards they give it to me and I'm hanging with her for the first time and I'm feeling nothing. And I literally put my head down on the bassinet. I'm going, oh my God, I'm a serial killer.
He's like a loaded gun that could fire at any moment and embarrass you, whether you're interviewing him or you're a TV host.
Obviously you're a writer, but you've never really written on a sitcom before. If you go through your credits, you hadn't really been on a show before.
Why'd you have to bring that up? Just right out of the gate, he goes negative. Never really saw you write on anything before, Bill. There was all these other nice things on your IMDb page I could have brought up, but I noticed this one glaring thing that you've never done. And right out of the gate, was it because I made fun of the chairs? I'm sorry. Big show, I understand.
I came on,
that kid missed the graduation, and then it was a feel-good story.
It was a feel-good, and we want to leave.
If you want to feel good about America, you watch the morning shows. You don't watch this,
Even comedians can find themselves getting grilled by him.
And stop having to talk to this fucking person.
Yeah, you're full of anger. Because you flog yourself for being vulnerable.
Oh, would you stop it? Like you have some sort of psychology degree?
10 years in therapy.
So what? I've watched football for 40 years. I shouldn't be somebody's coach.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm not your therapist.
Then you're going to like superimpose your fucking issues of the psychos in your life onto me.
His ability to take no nonsense from anyone is one of his best talents. And he has a special way of starting with a controversial statement and then breaking it down to his audience.
Ladies, if you could just support the WNBA the way you support a fat chick that's proud of her body and is no longer a threat to you, that league would be doing better numbers than the NBA.
Women are so overrated, right? We went from... Wait. It's like that believe women. It's like all of them. How about 85%? I'll give you 87%, all right?
He can do this with sensitive topics such as domestic violence, modern-day feminism, or the woke culture, with no fear of getting canceled, which captivates live crowds.
That's one of the most genius things I've ever seen. How regular-looking women somehow mind-fucked advertising to get beautiful women off of billboards. Regular? Who gives a fuck? Can't remember her name, looking women, right? Well, looking at these goddesses, and they had to fucking be the... How am I supposed to compete with that? You can't! How fucking arrogant are you?
Bill is brave enough and has the logic to explain what most people are thinking but are afraid to say, giving his audience a live representation of their thoughts.
I have a simple male brain that could just sit there and just enjoy it. I can just enjoy it.
So does your wife watch any of these games with you? Does she?
No, she has the female, complex, multitasking brain. That's why they can't be happy. They just always, they're like, what is that lizard that can look at two things at once? That's what they're like. So they got the shoes they want, and then they see some other woman walking in going, oh, look at this skinny bitch over here. She thinks she's cute.
I fly a lot, and there's this whole new thing of generation of people that take their socks and their shoes off on the plane. You got to look at their smelly feet, and then they'll literally stand up and they will walk into a commercial airline bathroom. Yeah, use it, and then walk and sit back down again.
That's not right.
Yeah, if I was a dictator, those people would be eliminated.
And this goes into one of Bill's most iconic traits that his fans love, his temper. And genuine anger at small things allows him to come across as an ordinary guy. He's not perfect, and he makes that very clear.
Fatherhood made me have to figure myself out because I didn't want my kids to go through, some of the stuff that I went through. Not saying it was all bad, but some of the stuff that I went through. So I just kept trying and failing with the temper, and I ended up taking mushrooms.
You took mushrooms to help you with your temper.
Then after that, I was sort of left with this profound sense of loneliness and not feeling loved, right? So I'm literally laying there going, what the hell is this? I love my wife and I love my kids, and I figured it out. I go, oh, this is how I felt growing up. I get it. And then I was like, I've been running from this feeling. That's why, hey, I do stand-up. I fly helicopters. Am I cool? Do you like me?
He is one of one, and there will never be another comedian like him. And if you want to learn more about another comedian with an equally distinct skill set, click here to watch.